So my first year here went by in a blink of an eye. And what I found was evident, what I found in our schools is evident on the very first day of school. We have beautiful schools thanks to you and Maps for Kids. We have passionate, committed educators. And we have students, wonderful students who all have a name. They all have strengths. They all have needs. And every one of them has hopes and dreams for their future. My favorite day last year, though, was when I got to spend the day with 110 of our secondary students from all middle schools and high schools as part of the great conversation. It was a day led by students for the students, and you should have heard them talk about their experience in our schools. It was priceless. I recommend it to anyone. Another highlight for me last year on a personal level was our graduation season, but one graduation stood out in particular when I was introduced as the student speaker as Superintendent Nude. I promise I was clothed under my graduation gown. But last year, I stood here and asked you to change the conversation, change how you talk about our schools, and here's some evidence on why you've been doing that. Proud to announce that we had 3 Millennium Gate Scholars. It's news to have one in a year. We had 3, and they came from Classen SAS, Douglas High School, and Northwest Classen. Classen SAS led the state in average ACT scores last year with 26.2 on their exams. 85% of the students tested. Arthur Elementary was the only Oklahoma school in the state of Oklahoma to be selected as a Connect Ed school by Apple Computer. They're now leading the way on implementation of one-to-one technology initiatives. And as David just said, we administered the PSAT to 2,800 sophomores and juniors last year. And yes, 240 more students qualified for advanced placement coursework, and 489 students were able to be exempt from their end of instruction exam because of their performance on the PSAT. We are now extending that to the PSAT 8th and 9th graders this year. Coda Kid raised over $100,000 to protect our students during the winter months. And our state testing results for our students last year showed significant gains in middle school and high school math test scores with double-digit gains in algebra and 7th and 8th grade math. And that was with all students being tested. Our board expanded our charter school offerings last year by approving 100% growth to Santa Fe South and soon to open Lighthouse Charter in South Oklahoma City. And in April of 2015, the district sold $37.5 million in general bonds, obligation bonds, to complete gyms and safe rooms. At the same time, Standard & Poor's recognized that we are AA stable school district, the highest ranking in school districts in the state, and we just celebrated our 12th year of 12 consecutive clean audits. And you've heard about the teacher shortage. Last year we had 150 vacancies. We reduced that by over 100 vacancies this year. We're 98.5% full, and we're filling positions as we speak. And we filled critical leadership positions locally and by recruiting people from around the country. Folks, people want to work in Oklahoma City's public schools. But last year also revealed some troubling realities that we've been addressing. As you know, 90% of our students come from poverty. You heard me say it last year, poverty is not an excuse. Poverty is not a learning disability. We also know that we lead the country in student suspensions. According to a report issued by UCLA, suspension rates in 2012 in Oklahoma City were among the highest in the nation. And this issue is one of 3 Office of Civil Rights complaints that we are now nearing resolution with. But I believe that this suspension issue is our most pressing issue, and you just heard statistics from Natalie Shirley about violent crimes. Suspensions have a direct connection to violent crimes and incarceration. But at the same time, we cannot allow behaviors in our classrooms to threaten the safety or civility of our schools. No child, nobody has a right to harm others or disrupt others' learning. But every child must be dealt with in fair and consistent ways. It's a systems issue that requires support from the system. So I'm going to give you a glimpse of how we're going to handle. We have a video clip to show you a strategy to how we're going to handle this discipline issue.
Laundry numbers on them. You remember your number and always wear the ones that has your number. Any man forgets his number, spends the night in the box. These here spoons you keep with you. Any man loses his spoon spends the night in the box. There's no playing grab ass or fighting in the building. You got a grudge against another man, you fight him Saturday afternoon. Any man playing grab ass or fighting in the building spends the night in the box. First bell is at 5 minutes of 8. When you will get in your bunk. Last bell is at 8. Any man not in his bunk at 8 spends the night in the box. There's no smoking in the prone position in bed. To smoke, you must have both legs over the side of your bunk. Any man caught smoking in the prone position in bed spends the night in the box. You get 2 sheets every Saturday. You put the clean sheet in the top sheet in the bottom sheet you turn in the laundry boy. Any man turns in the wrong sheet spends the night in the box. Which no one will sit in the bunks with dirty pants on. Any man with dirty pants on sitting on the bunk spends the night in the box. Any man don't bring back his empty pop bottle spends the night in the box. Any man loud talking spends the night in the box. You got questions, you come to me. I'm Carr, the floor walker. I'm responsible for order in here. Any man don't keep order spends the night in the box. I hope you ain't gonna be a hard case.
That was my favorite all-time movie. That's why I showed that clip. Rules without relationships result in rebellion. And in order for us to fix this problem, we've got to think outside the... You didn't know this was going to be audience participation, did you? So, to support our staff and students, we've already implemented the following. We've created an Office of Student Discipline and Compliance. Any student suspended over 10 days will be sent to this office and not spend a night in the box. And I'm really proud to announce that in partnership with the State Department of Education, we have begun training our staff, and you saw it on the front page of the Oklahoman Sunday, in positive behavior intervention supports. Over the next school year, we're going to train all staff in this initiative so that staff can help deter these behavioral disruptions in the classroom. But what happens when students do make mistakes? Because they're kids. They're going to make mistakes, and they are going to be required to be moved for some periods of time. Proud to announce, in partnership with the Latino Community Development Agency and the Boys and Girls Club, that we are opening long-term suspension and expulsion programs where students will receive behavioral intervention support as well as academic support while they're on suspension, so that when they do return to the classroom, they've had the opportunity to work on their academic growth and address their behavioral concerns, and it'll be less work on the teachers than before when they were suspended for extraordinary amounts of time for things they shouldn't have been suspended for, and they had no intervention supports. We have also this year created positions at all of our secondary schools, assessment coordinators, taking all the test burden off of counselors to free them up to do what they're trained to do, counsel kids. And we've completely restructured central office so that we can provide the support to our teachers and our principals so that they are getting the professional development and support that they need to meet the needs of all of our students. And as you know, or you've heard, we're updating our student code of conduct, and currently it is under review by all of our staff and will soon be published online for our students and our parents for their input. And the last thing I found last year was that this is a system steeped in fear due to an overemphasis on testing. I do not believe in evaluating teachers on a one-time high-stakes test. It is but one measure of performance given on one day, so I've directed our teachers, do not teach the test, teach kids. Because if you don't, you're killing their curiosity, they're killing their creativity, and we're killing our teachers' love for the profession. Thank you. So I've got a short video clip from the movie Freedom Riders for you.
Miss G, can I read something from my diary?
That'd be great.
Who's he?
Man, he's been with us since freshman year, fool.
What's his name?
I don't know.
The summer was the worst summer in my short 14 years of life. It all started with a phone call. My mother was crying and begging, asking for more time, as if she were gasping for her last breath of air. She held me as tight as she could and cried. Her tears hit my shirt like bullets and told me we were being evicted. She kept apologizing to me. I thought I have no home. I should have asked for something less expensive at Christmas. On the morning of the eviction, a hard knock on the door woke me up. The sheriff was there to do his job. I looked up at the sky, waiting for something to happen. My mother has no family to lean on, no money coming in. Why bother coming to school or getting good grades if I'm homeless? The bus stops in front of the school. I feel like throwing up. I'm wearing clothes from last year, some old shoes and no new haircut. I kept thinking I'd get laughed at. Instead, I'm greeted by a couple of friends who were in my English class last year. And it hits me, Mrs. Gurwell, my crazy English teacher from last year, is the only person that made me think of hope. Talking with friends about last year's English and our trips, I began to feel better. I received my schedule and the first teacher is Mrs. Gurwell in room 203. I walk into the room and feel as though all the problems in life are not so important anymore. I am home.
That scene plays out in our schools every day. And like Hilary Swank, our teachers are heroes. So what does this mean for us? Americans have fallen in love. They have fallen in love with what is easy to measure. And they've made that important. We've made that important. It's a standardized test. What we need to be doing is deciding what's the most important for our students and making that important. So last year we embarked on the great conversation, as David mentioned in the opening. And we brought in, over an 8-month period, brought in 1,200 people, students, staff, parents, community members. Many of you were involved in the process. And we developed 7 goals to make up our commitment to our students. So what we've done here in Oklahoma City is we've decided what's most important for our students, how we're going to measure it, and then how we're going to hold ourselves accountable to our kids. So here's our 7 community-wide goals. Number 1, focus on early learning, in particular kindergarten readiness, 2nd grade literacy and numeracy. Number 2, maximize instructional time, which calls for a reduction in suspensions and expulsions and making sure that regular attendance is important to our students. Number 3, we do that by engaging our kids in their learning. Make sure that they're involved in music and arts, physical education, athletics, clubs and activities, things outside the core curriculum, and in doing so, give them a voice. Students have a voice. Make them partners in our education. If we take the time to listen to them, they've got something to teach us. So if we get them on track early, engagement in learning, maximize the time that we have with them, we've got a shot at number 4, core subject mastery. Our benchmark areas are 3rd grade reading, 5th grade math and writing, 8th grade algebra, and 10th grade biology. And we've asked each school to develop their baseline and 15-year growth trajectories to 100% mastery. Our 5th goal then is what about the kids who aren't making it in the core subjects? We're targeting our lowest student subgroup performance, and we're deploying our resources to those who need it the most. And by doing so, our methodology here in Oklahoma City is to interrogate the system through the eyes of the kids who are struggling the most, and then making sure that they have the resources to be successful. Our 6th goal states that every child must be enrolled and succeed in advanced placement rigor course and or credential pathway. So to that end, I'd like to highlight the district's Career Academy program, which is thriving. Right now, nearly 1,000 of our students are taking advantage of career-based learning at 9 district high schools. And through our Career Academy program, students take industry-specific classes and participate in work-based learning activities in engineering, health sciences, information technology, law and public safety, hospitality and tourism, finance, and just introduced this year the Academy of Arts and the Northwest Classen Teacher Prep Academy. Early data shows that students who participate in these academies are excelling outside or beyond their peers who aren't participating in English language arts, in mathematics, and their GPAs are higher. In the audience today is one of our students by the name of Mary Lou Cardenas, a senior at Northwest Classen High School. She will graduate this coming May from the Health Science Academy. And if you ask her to tell you, she'll tell you that the Academy program gives her a chance to learn about diverse perspectives on healthcare and healthcare occupations, not only in the U.S., but from around the world. She joined the Health Science Academy so she'll be prepared to enter the workforce in nursing upon graduation. And this summer, thanks to our generous advisory board members, Mary Lou completed a paid internship at Mercy Hospital. Congratulations, Mary Lou. In addition, 200 of you, business leaders, are connecting the business world to our classrooms and to industry. I thank each business leader who has served on an advisory board this year or offered an internship to our students, and I encourage others to join in this continued growth of our programs, which provide students direction, meaning, and academic growth in their learning. If you're interested, there are interest cards on your table. Please fill one out and turn one in at the end of today's program. And I want to take a moment and ask Ms. Kate Hayden to stand. She is the extraordinary Academy Program Director who has grown this program over the last couple of years. I'm angry at you for leaving us, but we wish you the very best as you actually step up, as Tony Shin said, she got called up to the big leagues. She will now be the Regional Director for the National Academy Foundation, and your territory will include Oklahoma City. And I just want to announce that we are opening next year at Emerson High School the Entrepreneurial Program. Thank you for your work, Kate. So Oklahoma City has become a destination for startups. That entrepreneurial program or academy will foster student skills who possess those characteristics to go on and be an entrepreneur. Part of the graduation requirements will be a business plan, an LLC, a mobile app, and then we'd love to bring in venture capitalists to let them pitch to the Shark Tank. Winners will get startup funding for their business. And our seventh and end goal is our end product, graduation. We must ensure that every one of our students is on track to graduate, and that they leave us with the skills and options to lead a productive adult life. The impact on a person's life, with or without a high school diploma, the difference is stunning. And the cost on society of not having a high school diploma is staggering. They have a saying in Finland, there is no such thing as student failure, there's only system failure. And as the adults in the community, it's our responsibility to ensure our students' success. So to that end, I'm proud to announce a partnership with the Foundation of Oklahoma City's Public Schools. We are launching Partners in Action next month. This new initiative will help schools and businesses partner in strategic and meaningful ways. The Great Commitment gives us a plan for how we're going to achieve student success, and it also gives you the lane on how you can support us in reaching our goals. Partners in Action is just one of many successes and initiatives that we're going to be embarking on this year. And here's how we're going to continue to change the conversation about our schools. The Foundation, along with partners UCO, OCCC, and OSU OKC, it's like alphabet soup, is developing a program to support the education and teacher certification for bilingual paraprofessionals who are currently working for us in our school system. This Grow Our Own initiative allows us to address our shortage of bilingual teachers, and it's an investment in our families, in our community. Thank you, Mary, and the Foundation, and all of those partners. We're also working in partnership with the County Health Department, the City, Parks and Rec, Metro Library System, UCO, and OCCC to build a Southside community school at Parmalee Elementary School. This facility features partnerships unlike anything else in the United States, and will bring to the south side of Oklahoma City much needed health, education, and recreation resources. Thank you, Gary, for your vision and your partnership. And the district has also worked with Metro Library to do something that seems so simple, but it's going to have a profound impact. Take student IDs and let those then become their entry into the library to check out books and electronic books. Tim and I met yesterday, and we also would like to announce a citywide literacy initiative, because if the mayor can put us on a diet, then how about if all of our citizens read the recipe? You'll also see that through the 2007 bond, we've built 20 new gymnasiums throughout the community, and we have construction of 26 new gyms and safe rooms coming that are either in bid, design project, or in construction phase now. Central office will move to 615 Classen. In addition, we're opening up a district-wide enrollment center at the old Dewey Elementary School. We are years beyond the next school bond authorization, so we're in the process of putting a bond before you in 2016 to ensure that we upkeep the more than $1.3 billion asset facilities that we have in the district, technology infrastructure, bus fleet, and we would love to build a magnet STEM school, science, technology, engineering, and math, in the city center. Oklahoma City, as you know, is leading the country in high-tech industry and business startups, and we've got to ensure that we have the workforce ready to step in and contribute. So I'd like to show you one last movie clip from Remember the Titans.
Go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Wake up, gentlemen. It's late. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. All right, listen up. You will follow Doc, myself, and the other coaches. We're going to take a little run through the woods. If you get lost along the way, don't bother coming back to camp. Just hitchhike your hind parts on home. Any questions?
Coach, it's a high school football team. We're not the Marines here.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Tell me where have you been, my blue-eyed son? Where have you been, my darling one? I've stumbled upon the side of the 12 mountain. I've walked and I've crawled over 6 crooked highways. Tell you it's hard. It's hard.
Come on, baby. Can't take no rest. Can't take no rest.
Anybody know what this place is? This is Gettysburg. This is where they fought the Battle of Gettysburg. 50,000 men died right here on this field, fighting the same fight that we're still fighting amongst ourselves today. This green field right here, painted red, bubbling with blood of young boys, smoke and hot lead pouring right through their bodies. Listen to their souls, man. I killed my brother with malice in my heart, hatred, destroyed my family. You listen. You take a lesson from the dead. If we don't come together right now on this hollow ground, we too will be destroyed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we must believe that every one of our students, every one of them, possesses a skill or a talent that's of value somewhere in the world because technology allows them access. As your superintendent, I will not support a system that selects winners and losers. My job is to ensure that every one of our students is successful. We need a community that supports all of our kids. We need a community that supports all of our schools. We need a community that supports our children like we support the Oklahoma City Thunder. We are Oklahoma City's public school system, and we are changing the conversation. Thank you.